Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Cadron, and I did my paper on the development of baseball. Baseball is a game played with a bat and a ball between two teams of 9 players each on a large field having 4 bases that mark a course a runner must take to score. The history of baseball goes back to at least 100 years back. There are more good teams in baseball throughout the entire country. There are 30 teams exactly in baseball today. What makes baseball so popular, or how did it evolve so quickly, you may ask. A baseball player's biggest issue is taking performance enhancing drugs, also known as steroids. In the history of baseball goes back to the 1800s. The first official baseball game in the United States took place in 1846 in Hoboken, New Jersey. In 1869, the Cincinnati Red Stockings became America's first professional baseball club. In 1871, the National Association of Professional Baseball Players was established as the sport's first major leagues. Like in most sports, baseball also has a championship game. Like football has the Super Bowl, well, baseball has the World Series. In 1901, the National League rival, the American League of Professional Baseball Club, was founded. Starting in 1903, the best team from each league began competing against each other in the World Series, which was played by the Boston Americans and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who ended up the Boston Americans winning that year. The fundamental of the game involves throwing the ball, hitting the ball, and catching the ball. Of course, the execution of these three tasks is more challenging than it sounds, and this challenge that compels baseball players to play the game. But baseball does not have a time limit, nor does it have a countdown. You play through the length of 9 innings. And just like in most sports, the team with the most points wins, and you cannot end the game in a tie. Baseball evolved from the British game rounders and its cousin to cricket that is also involves 2 teams that alternate on defense and offense and involve throwing the ball to a batsman who attempts to bat it away and run safely to base. The first team to play baseball under modern rules were the New York Knickerbockers. The club was founded on September 23, 1845, as a social club for upper middle classmen in New York City, and was strictly amateur until disbandment. In baseball, the dimension of the outfield wall and foul territory is unique in every venue, and in many cases not even symmetrical. In today's modern world, I can say that baseball has so many different types of field and in different symmetric and all different shapes or sizes. Baseball is played with a round white ball and 2 red seams. So that it would make it easier for the hitter to see the ball and the catcher to be able to catch it. In the beginning, the professional league for baseball was called the National Association, but it was only for a short period of time due to bad rep it was getting and the lack of fans. After it went on to be named the National League, owned by previous players, but wasn't supposed to be that way. So businessmen took it upon themselves to let the people know that baseball can be a great achievement and a great entertainment in the U.S. Then other league had to emerge to compete against the National League, and they had cheaper tickets to their stadium. Both leagues came to an agreement to stay divided but united as the Major League Baseball, also known as the MLB. The agreement allowed each team to bind a certain number of players and reserve requirement. Many people, when you ask them who was the first African American to ever play in the MLB, they will tell you Jackie Robinson. Well, I will let you know that Jackie Robinson was the first, but in a long gap of baseball year. The actually first African American to ever play in the MLB was Moses Fleetwood Walker. Moses Fleetwood Walker was born in Mount Pleasant, Ohio, October 7, 1856. He also was the first to ever play varsity high school, the first African American to play high school varsity baseball. Then he went on to attend the University of Michigan Law School. Also became the first African American to play varsity in college. In 1883, he signed with the Toledo Blue Sox in a minor league. After that, he went on to become the first African American to ever play in the major leagues. There are plenty of African Americans in today's modern baseball. Despite that slavery is over, there is still many racism shown in everyday baseball. Many of you may not know, but African American population in MLB has decreased from 18.7% in 1981 to 7.7% in today's baseball. Due to the impact of racism have been shown in the last few years, and people actually taking a stand to support colored people, as they obviously see how unfairly African American are being treated in life, and generally many MLB players are taking a stand to support BLM, also known as Black Lives Matters. I believe that players are a lot more skilled in today's baseball than they were in their past. When you look back at it and see the players, how they were built physically, you can clearly see the difference from players in today's modern baseball. Players now are all big, strong, and muscular. The players from back in the day were all scrawny and skinny. Baseball players today are just bigger, faster, and stronger than player was in the 1900s. The way of hitting is completely different from now. They are more skilled now, and they don't need to use all these different styles like choking up on the bat or moving in or out. They just strict to their skills, basically. It lets you know that hitters' vision, swing have evolved. Than when it started. Steroid users lie and cheat all the time. They lie by claiming to others that they do not use steroids. They lie by claiming the competitor that they are competing on the same ground rules. They cheat by the unequal playing field effect. Their action degrades the sport into an activity no longer connected to being human. So it's like the worth of an athlete, the reason to admire human endurance lies and appreciate human possibility, human achievement. It's better to work hard at it than to cheat your way to your top. One of the greatest players that I believe should be in the Hall of Fame that was caught cheating and taking performance-enhancing drugs was Barry Bonds. And that cost him a lot. Also cost him a chance to making it into the Hall of Fame. But he will always be the home run king. The comparison, however, baseball history goes back to more than hundreds of years, and it's outstanding how far baseball has come. The comparison with baseball in the early 1900s to baseball today, life is completely different in the game, and it has evolved in many ways you don't know how. The development of baseball, it has been dramatically a big jump from the ball to the uniform to actual players. Many players that cheated in the game by using performance-enhancing drugs to help them play at the level above there. Thanks to the MLB taking stand and punishing those players. Moses Fleetwood was a very inspirational person due to he opened doors for many African Americans to play high school ball, college ball, and even in the major leagues. Baseball is one of the best pastimes across the world today. Some people may have the benefit to have it as a career.